Why are TradCons so afraid of men not getting married? And I've been really thinking and trying to understand this because the TradCon argument I keep hearing is marriage is high risk, high reward. And they equate it to starting a business. And I don't think that equation works because if I start a business, which I have, and I guess I could speak to this firsthand. If I lose my business, I mean, it's definitely an L. You lose all your money, but you can come back from that. Many men are not able to come back from a very terrible divorce. They can never reconnect with their children the same way. They can never rebuild their reputation. Like if I have a really, bad business or whatever, it's not like everybody's going to think I'm an evil abuser because of it. I don't think these equivalencies work. The next thing they say is, well, if you just really work at a marriage, and if you just pray every day, if you do all this stuff, then your wife won't leave you. And I just don't think you can pray a woman who wants to leave into staying. I think the men that say this fundamentally misunderstand female nature. Female nature is not logical. We're based on our emotions. And if we don't feel a certain way and we feel like we want to go, it's not the man's fault. Sometimes we just feel like that. And we make dumb decisions based on how we feel. Why do you think 1 in 3 women's had an abortion? 1 in 3 women have had an STD. Up to 10% of women under 35 have been on OF. We're not logical. We're just not that logical. And you want men to logic women into staying in marriages. A man, there's no foolproof way to protect a man from divorce in the current system. So it's so interesting because you would think the TradCon guys, like the Daily Wire, all of them, their first reaction would be change the system, change the system, change the system. But instead, their reaction is to shame men for, not wanting to get married. And, okay, I was thinking about this, so I'm going to Google this right now. Single men, great accomplishments. And I've Googled this before. I don't want to say the wrong person. Wait, hold on. So it wasn't Isaac Newton, right? Wasn't he a virgin? I'm putting Newton, virgin. Yeah, okay, there we go. Isaac Newton. Now, maybe he's a weird guy, don't know. But he's still a man that's talked about to this day. He's talked about to this day for, his science stuff. Please don't ask me to go into it. I can't. But did he have an awful life that just was not fulfilling? I mean, no, he's a great man in history that we still talk about years after he died. And he changed the world. But the TradCons will somehow phrase this as a negative. And it's so interesting because whenever I ask TradCons about their success in life, they always have to attribute it to their wife. And the way they speak about their wife is akin to how I would speak about God. And it's almost like their wife is the God. And I never understood why so many guys simp and say that women are the reason they're successful. I mean, I know a lot of men that are married and successful. I grew up in a pretty wealthy area. And I would not attribute those men's success to their wife. I would attribute it to those men being smart and competent and driven. And with or without their wife, they would have done something awesome. Their wife might have made it easier. But they certainly wouldn't have been unsuccessful without their wife. I just think, people are either going to be successful or they're not. And so personally, I just wonder where the money is. There has to be some money somewhere that people are so afraid of men not marrying women. Is it in conservatism, like you need the female vote? Is that it? Is there some funding that, because I'm thinking women make 80% of consumer buying decisions. So if you don't pander to women a little bit, I'd assume you'd lose money. Maybe if I pandered a little bit more, I'd still be monetized. But I don't know. Could you guys tell me your thoughts? Like, this is going to go on Twitter, so in the comments, because I feel like there's money involved. Because I just think there's no way in hell, my dog's drinking, sorry. There's no way in hell that you could look at the facts of marriage today and the reputation that we know marriage has and say that overwhelmingly the majority of men get a benefit from it, as in 51% of men get more benefit than the cost. I think if we say half end in divorce, so we can't say it was a good deal for the men that got divorced, and then out of the half that stayed together, we have phrases like it's cheaper to keep her, happy wife, happy life. So let's cut those in half and say half are happy, half are unhappy. The majority, this wasn't a good deal for. And it's so funny because I was just on this show and I was telling the guy that only 5% of women were marriageable, meaning no tattoos, no debt, not being fat. And his reaction is, what percent of men are marriageable? Why is that the gut reaction? Like, why, when we mention women, do you guys have to mention men? We're talking about women. But the gut reaction is always like, it's like everyone has this gut reaction to just like protect women. And I think it's the strangest thing. Like, if I say, like, this was a funny one. I said, women are more likely to kill infants than the elderly. And you simps, you guys all say, well, it's because they're around children more. I mean, does that mean you have to kill the kids? Am I tripped? Like, I'm like, sometimes I just wonder, it's like I look at these facts and I just wonder, why is it so hard to process these facts because we live in such a woman-centric society, or is there money involved? I don't know, but this is Ellie, if you're wondering. What do you think? You're a girl. Okay, let me know.